And I see folks saying, I hope I make six figures this year. Man, I'm wishing that I'm just wishing I'll get a six pack. I'm wishing, right? And so wishing and hoping, but there's no plan in place for it. And I think in every area of our lives, I'm speaking to myself too, that when there's no plan in place, I don't maximize the success that I could have. And, I may get close just because of drive, because of, work ethic. Sure. Because I got an extreme work ethic. And so people have work ethic. You might get close to it just based on just sheer work ethic. You may get close to it just because you got a burning desire. You're sick and tired of living the way you're living. You're like, I'm sick and tired of looking like this. Or I'm sick and tired of not having finances. I'm sick and tired, whatever that is that's driving you. So you get there because of that or close to it, but you don't maximize it, man. You don't hit the levels that you could hit. It's like, man, yeah, you made 100,000. You could have made 500,000. Yeah, you were able to accomplish this, but you could accomplish that.
There was a plan.
It was good. People say, oh, I'm good. Yeah, but it could have been great.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven and family-focused and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the Self-Talk Experience. I'm so happy to be here with you today, babe.
I am excited too. I'm always excited to be here on the Self-Talk Experience platform.
Yes. Well, what would you like to talk about today?
So today I thought it would be awesome to talk about pivoting, adjusting, making changes.
I do that all the time. I do.
Do you like it?
Yeah. If I get lost, I just go home. I pivot.
That's not quite the pivot I was talking about, but you do that. You throw the baby out with the bathwater.
You love saying that. You have to be like an older gentleman to say
wiser,
seasoned. These types of
I have a few grays and everything.
I like your grays.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sexy.
No dying over here. I'm letting it go.
Yeah, let it go, babe. I love it.
Thank you.
Very distinguished.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is that how you change your voice?
I don't know. I just feel like distinguished. You should talk like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hey, look, so pivoting, changing, adjusting.
Right.
And sometimes we think that's a negative thing, but it's not. Like adjusting along the way is a good thing because most of the time we're not even on track. And so we kind of plan, do, review. You plan out, like you strategize, you implement the strategy or the plan, and then you realize, I actually need some more help. I actually need more resources. I actually need more funding.
I like, though, when we talk about these things because we talk about resetting, right? We talk about pivoting, which are two different things, but it just sounds positive.
Yeah.
A lot of times in our minds, we feel like we're quitting on ourselves or quitting on others, but we're not. It's just a reset. It's just a pivot. It's just a think about what your goals really are, kind of change it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I love that it's putting a positive spin on your self-talk because sometimes we can beat ourselves up.
So true.
Often when we do change.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. No, that's so true. Remember, we were just talking about what I was talking about with an audience a couple of weeks ago about starting again rather than saying starting over. Right? Because starting over makes it seem as though you're starting from the beginning.
You're like back to square one.
Back to square one.
Right. That's what's kind of what starting over means, right?
Right. That's what it implies. So it can, like you said, it could be deflating.
Sure.
Like, it's like, man, I got to start over. I spent all this time, all this effort
doing this,
and now I got to start over. But starting again means you're wiser. You've learned from the reason why you feel like you got to start over.
Right. But that's so good, babe, because especially in a relationship, if you're in a relationship and it's a failed relationship, whether it's a friendship or, a romantic relationship, when the breakup happens, you're like, oh, I got to meet somebody else. I got to start all the way over. But like you said, you're not really starting all the way over because you're not the same person.
That's exactly right.
You've learned so much, right?
Yeah.
And kind of knowing, oh, I didn't want that. I didn't enjoy that. Now I know what I enjoy. Now I know what I'm looking for in a friend or in a partner. Yep. So I love to, you can kind of apply that to so many different aspects.
Yeah. Even in a relationship, if you're reigniting the flame or you're giving it another shot in that friendship, right? So you're like, you know what? Let's start again.
Start again, because now we know what we messed up on.
Exactly right. Right. So not necessarily starting over because you know things that you didn't know before.
That's good.
Right. So I like starting again because if you had to, let's say, just use cross country. So you're running cross country,
Right.
not really across the country, but a cross country event.
Sure.
And I had to take a second to hydrate, take a second, tie your shoe, take a second to help out somebody. Well, when you start running again, you're starting again. You're not starting over. You have to go. You got to go back because you took a
'Cause you
second.
stopped. Right.
No, you're starting again from where you left off. With all the knowledge, further along on the journey,
Yeah.
and that's what self-talk should really be about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like putting yourself in a position where you can actually start again. And this is how I feel. Like even with our podcast, we're over 100 and something episodes, right? And so we set goals in January about our 2024 year. It's like, here's what we want to do. Here's the areas of our life we want to get better in these particular areas. Here's the growth we like to see because we believe in measuring things. That which you can't measure is hard to grow because how do you know it's grown if you don't know where you started?
You have to be intentional.
Yeah. But if you're growing from, 5'2" to 5'4", how do you know you grew the 2 inches if you didn't know where you started? You don't know. It's like, I think it's just, what are you laughing at? Like, I mean, listen, most of us are older. We're not growing anymore. But it was just an example, right? Janelle's laughing back there because she's 6'8". So, but look, check it out. So if you are setting goals and you're like, hey, look, this year I'm going to accomplish this. And this year I'm going to be better at that, right? Whatever that is. And you're intentional about it. It is okay to shift. It is okay to say, you know what? In order for us to get to this place here, where are we going to make adjustments? Because I realize I don't have the mind space I thought I had, or the wherewithal, or this came up and this is important. And it could be because of age. It could be because of elderly parents. It could be because of a child that has a special need. It could be like things happen where you like, you know what? I want to focus more on being a mom. I want to focus more on, and that adjustment happens because you didn't realize that by doing this, it would take away from this. And now you're deciding, I want to do more of in this area.
Right.
And that's what we've done, by the way, with even our Self-Talk Experience podcast. So we have decided to move into seasons because as you all know, for over 2 years now,
Yes.
it has been every single Thursday that we have dropped an episode. And guess what? You'll still be able to go and watch as many episodes as you want because so many folks come up to us and say things like, man, I'm catching up. I've missed a few, but I'm going back.
Right.
And we know that it'll give folks that opportunity, but it will also give us an opportunity by going into seasons to accomplish some of the other things that we have set with our goals,
Right.
so that we're even better for you. We're even better for our audience because we believe in exampleship. We believe in being an example of what it is that we're teaching. So we are doing some things that I won't share yet, but we are truly excited about moving our podcast into seasons. So that's the adjustment. That's one of the pivots we're making in our lives.
Right.
That we're moving this into season. The way this will work is there'll be a winter and a fall season of the Self-Talk Experience. So January, February, March, it'll be new releases every single Thursday. And then April, May, June, you'll have replays to go back and watch. And some of them will be mashups. It'll be opportunities for us to discuss what we learned most from some of the podcasts we've already recorded.
And also, babe, we're going to go live during our break too, right? Sometimes.
Yep. So we'll be live. Make sure you're following
that'll
us
be fun.
on IG on the Self-Talk Experience.
Yes.
And then so once the season, January, February, and March releases all of the live on Thursdays, the new releases on Thursdays. And then for April, May, and June, you'll have an opportunity to catch up because I know many of you still have to catch up. So make sure you catch up because there are insights we drop every single week. And we realize people have a life and that everybody can watch every single Thursday. And we also realize that repetition is the key to learning. Right. So you'll be able to go back and watch some of the other ones. So April, May, June, you have an opportunity to do that. And then July, August, and September, we'll be right back. So get ready. And with some new releases, and we'll be excited about walking you through some of the things that we've learned and gained during our 3 months as well. So hopefully you guys, we're going to give you an assignment. So make sure you plug in to the episodes every Thursday coming up. So we're going to give you some homework assignments so that you can still get better with your self-talk. And of course, we will take another break during the October, November, December season and come right back in the new year. So just want to let you guys know that. So here's a pivot, right? So I pivot all the time, by the way. Just last night, before I went to bed, I thought it just hit me. And I thought, I got to make an adjustment because I was shooting too low in one area of my life. I'm like, why did I put the goal that low when I believe I can actually do better in that area?
Okay.
So I adjusted. And it wasn't because I was quitting on the last goal that I set. It was because I made an adjustment on what I felt like was a reasonable goal for me to stretch myself to hit.
And it wasn't a starting over.
Exactly right. It was just starting again.
Yes.
Yep, starting again. And it made me take inventory. So there's a couple of things I wanted to share real quickly when you take a pivot. One, effectively communicate. So if you own a business, you should effectively communicate to your employees what the pivot looks like, why we're making a pivot, what the vision looks like once we make the pivot, right? Cast that vision. So talk to the employees, talk to your stakeholders, our shareholders, right? So you should communicate with those who will be impacted by that pivot.
Well, I think that's what I do at the gym when I'm doing my reps and I don't want to do all the reps. I talk to her and say, I don't want to do anymore.
You talk to who?
My trainer, Zadia Murphy. And actually, so now I can explain to her, this is a pivot. I'm communicating with her. I'm telling her how I feel. And this is what's going to happen. It's a pivot. I don't want to do 12. I want to do 6.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like.
It's a pivot.
But why? So this is the second part of you show, yes, you communicate.
Right.
But now see if
and
this matches.
And I'm not starting over. I'm just going to stop and move on to the next thing.
I don't think it works like that because of this second phase here, the second piece.
Okay, let me hear
So
it.
when you make a pivot, yes, effectively communicate. 2, make sure that the reason that you're pivoting aligns with the goals that you like to accomplish. So look at the end result. If you're pivoting, are you okay with the end result from the pivot?
Right.
And you have to be like, yeah, I am, because family's most important to me. And I had to pivot because I was putting way too much into my career. And I feel like my family's suffering because of it. So yes, I'm okay with that end result. So are you okay with that end result of making a pivot, of not doing the 12 reps? You may say, you know what? No, because I don't want to be flabby.
Or you may say, yeah, my arms are strong enough. I'm okay. I don't need to do any more pulls. What are those things called? They hurt. Yeah, I think I'm good on my shoulders.
Okay, look, you got summertime coming, and I know how you are when we're traveling and we're on the beaches, and you're like, so how do you think this looks? And how do you think?
Is that how I say it?
Yeah, I just feel like you do. I don't know, maybe not. But my point is, so guys, you got to be okay with the end result when you pivot, right? You have to say, you know what, I'm good with that. And it can't be what you think other people are going to think of your pivot. You know what I mean? So that can't be it. You can't say, well, I mean, you could say it, but it's not healthy to not pivot or to make the adjustment based on what you think other people are going to think of you.
Right.
It's got to be on what you see a year,
you have to
2
be
years,
confident
3
in your
years.
pivot.
That's exactly right.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the second thing. The last thing, anything else on that one?
No, let me see what the third one is. Maybe I'll be able to apply that as well. Let's hear it.
I don't think this is really going with your workout journey here. I think you're trying to justify and see how it fits there. I don't think it aligns.
Stay with me, self-talk.
I don't think it
family.
aligns.
Okay.
The last one is an implementation of the new plan. So when you pivot, you can't just say, oh, I'm just changing. I mean, you could, but typically you have the thing that you were doing that you're pivoting from.
Okay.
And the thing that you're pivoting towards now, neither one are successful now because there was no plan. It was just, I'm a pivot. I'm just going to change. I'm just not going to do that anymore. I just don't feel like it. But yeah, what do we set? Like, why? Why are we doing this? And is there a plan now to do this?
Right. That's good.
Right. So, because I see folks say, and I'm okay with that. Look, I'm making an adjustment. I'm making a change in my life. I don't really want that anymore. I thought I wanted this. I don't even want a yacht anymore. I don't even want the nice cars anymore. I'm different. If I could just live at peace in a nice rural area, and that, like, they're like legitimately that's okay if you're okay. Like you can't expect it. Everybody wants a luxury car just because you want that.
We were talking
Everybody wants a
about that.
mansion because you want that. Some folks are like, honestly, put me on an island with no balance, and I can walk to the grocery store every day in my slides or flip flops and not have to worry about wearing designer clothes. There's no judgment there. I am good with the t-shirts and short life every day.
But we were just talking about that the other day because it was a price of a ticket. Remember?
Ticket for what? Airfare?
Basketball game.
Okay. Yep.
And we were just talking about how some people will spend on certain things and some people won't. It just depends on what brings value to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's so true. We had a buddy of ours and he's probably watching too. And he was like, yeah, man, I got floor seats to the game for $22,000. And I was like, bruh, I like basketball. I just don't love it. And I don't love, I can sit up higher for $300. And that would be good. Honestly, I'd be good. He's like, well, how much do you want to spend? I was like, I'll spend $1,000. I remember having this conversation. And he was like, all right, man. Because I just, again, for him though, that's value. $20,000 floor seat sitting right next to LeBron James. Like, that's value. That's not,
absolutely.
At the scoreboard. That's for me. I was like, dude, I just went to Hawaii, we went shopping, we paid for, business class, had the
hotel,
the beautiful hotel, and still didn't get up to that, right? But so for me, but that's value for somebody else. And he might be like, look, I want that and this. Sure. Right? I'm like, hey, your money's a little different than mine. So you just have to know where you are. And when you're pivoting, make a decision based on what you want, but also make sure you have a plan for the pivot.
Don't worry about it.
So not only are you communicating it, not only are you seeing the end, and then you reverse engineer that, but now there's a plan to get there. Right? So there's got to be a plan to make that happen. So that plan implementation means something to that plan. So it's like, hey, look, so this is what I did last night. Not only did I adjust, and this was a financial goal with a business. So not only did I make an adjustment with the goal and increased it, because I felt like, man, I could give more in that if I made an adjustment here. And when I make an adjustment here and earn even more here and multiply those margins here, then I'll be able to give more here. Right. So we made those adjustments. Right. But then I put a plan together to make that happen. Otherwise, it's like a wish.
Sure.
And it's a hope. And I see folks saying, I hope I make 6 figures this year. Man, I'm wishing that I'm just wishing I'll get a 6-pack. I'm wishing, right? And so wishing and hoping, but there's no plan in place for it. And I think in every area of our lives, I'm speaking to myself too, that when there's no plan in place, I don't maximize the success that I could have. And, I may get close just because of drive, because of, work ethic. Sure. Because I got an extreme work ethic. And so people have work ethic. You might get close to it just based on just sheer work ethic. You may get close to it just because you got a burning desire. You're sick and tired of living the way you're living. You're like, I'm sick and tired of looking like this. Or I'm sick and tired of not having finances. I'm sick and tired, whatever that is that's driving you. So you get there because of that or close to it, but you don't maximize it, man. You don't hit the levels that you could hit. It's like, man, yeah, you made 100,000. You could have made 500,000. Yeah, you were able to accomplish this, but you could accomplish that.
There was a plan.
It was good. People say, oh, I'm good. Yeah, but it could have been great.
Sure. Yeah.
Why you laughing? Because she knows that's a trigger for me, right? I'm good. Well, why not be great? Sure. You can be good. You can actually be great. It's just a little bit more. Yes. A little adjustment. So I'm just asking that you put a plan in place. And the plan says, hey, look, today I do this. Right? That's a plan. A plan is exactly what to do today to get closer to the end result. That's the plan. So if right now you don't know, what do I need to do to get there? Then there's no plan. So get with someone who's done what it is you want to do and ask them, hey, what did you do to get there? Yes. And then you have a plan. Now, if you have to make adjustments from that plan because your timing is different, your age is different, your situation is different, right? I get that. So you can make adjustments, but at least you have some framework. Right? You have framework on what that should look like. And I think that's important. And so I was able to make the adjustments last night just based on mentorship that I've had and masterminds I've already attended this year. And so I just, went back through those notes, made the adjustments last night, put the plan in place, and I'm excited about where we're headed based on the pivot. Yeah. Otherwise, I feel like, all right, guys, here we are at the Self-Talk Experience. We're going to make some changes to the program today. And it's a sad thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're taking a break. We're taking a hiatus.
hiatus.
Right? A sabbatical, right? You just feel like it's like, where y'all going? But no, it's exciting when you know what you're doing will also pour into this.
And what's the plan?
We got a plan in place, guys. And so that's what I'm saying. So don't make yourself feel like, don't let others make you feel like you're quitting something when you're just adjusting. You're making a pivot. You're getting better. And they may not see it right away because the adjustment sometimes feels like a pullback. Sometimes.
Because it may look to someone else like you're starting over.
Right, exactly right.
But you know
you're not, right? Yes. So be confident when you pivot. Be confident when you're making an adjustment and know that it's for the best. Why? Because one of the three I gave you, because you know it's for the best. You already see it. You're like, hey, when I make this adjustment, this is going to happen.
Yes.
My family's going to be better, right? My financial situation is going to be better. My health is going to be better. Whatever's important to you, whatever becomes priority, and it's seasonal sometimes. So it's okay to adjust and then come back. Right? Come back and make that other thing a priority again. Right? So it's okay to make an adjustment temporarily for a month, for 3 months, for a year, for a couple of years, which is what we did. I made an adjustment for 3 years. 3 years of my life. We're not going to do this because I saw this. I saw what I wanted most.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not what I just wanted now.
You're on a roll today, babe. You are. I like it.
All right, guys. You just say something to make Janelle laugh. All right, guys, listen. Just remember, if you have to make an adjustment, I know it's in 2024. So if you're watching this like when it was first released, we're only 3 months into 2024, and we have already had 2 episodes about adjustments.
Yes, we did.
Already 2 episodes about adjustments. So if you have to make an adjustment, I just don't want you to feel bad. This episode is just for you, that self-talk, that you're second guessing yourself. You're wondering if you're shrinking, but you are not, my friends. You're becoming more focused. And sometimes a focused light is a smaller light. And y'all know if I'm aging myself, we used to have this magnifying glass. And if you really focused it on like a piece of paper or something, it could create a burn from the sun. But it was because it was focused. Right. And so sometimes smaller is not necessarily shrinking or dwarfing your goals. It is being more focused with your goals. So you just adjust so you can be more focused in that particular area for a limited time so that you can be even more fruitful, so that you can be even stronger in all other areas of your life.
Woo.
All right, guys, this has been another episode of the Self-Talk Experience. Remember, the things you say to yourself about yourself eventually will determine what you attract for yourself.
Yes. Thank you.
See you guys.
Oh my God. I have an and today.
Okay, sorry.
If you see me at the gym, watch the pivot.
Take care, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.